Hello everyone and welcome back. So in this video, we are going to learn about method overriding in Java. Now many of you are very confused about method overriding and how it works. So we are going to take everything about method overriding in this video. So stay tuned. So today what we are going to do is we are going to take a class that is animal, which is going to be the base class. And from animal, we will inherit a class that is a dog. And that's the reason we have the picture of a dog over here. Okay. So today what we will do is I'm going to directly take you to the VS Code and we are going to implement everything into VS Code directly. Okay. So here is VS Code in front of you. Now, I will create a class and the name of the class is animal. Okay, and then the Copilot is giving me a lot of recommendations over here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add one method. Name of the method is sound, and that's it. Name of the method is sound. Every animal makes some sound, some kind of sound every animal will make. Now understand that why we are doing all this. As I keep on saying this, why we have oops, it is only because we can make the code manageable. We can manage the code in an easy way. We can completely, reduce the code duplication. And that is why we have this concept. So animal is kind of a general class. It's a generic class, you can say, where all the common features of an animal will be implemented in this class. Okay? All the common features will be implemented in this class. Of course, in a real world, maybe we are not going to create a class animal, but this is just for your understanding. So every animal makes some sound. So we have a method and it is going to simply print a message that animal makes a sound. Which sound? That we don't know. But yes, animal makes some sound. Okay, fair enough. Now what we're going to do is we will add a new file and name of this file will be that is dog.java and I'm going to create this file. So here we are into a new file. I will say class dog and then I will implement the same method that is sound. So in the previous video also we had two methods that was displayed in the derived class and also in the base class. So over here also we have the same situation. We have sound over here. I will save this, and in animal also we have sound. But I just forgot one thing, and that is this dog, it inherits, that is animal. Dog inherits animal, and that makes a lot of sense, right? Dog belongs to the category that is animal. So when we have the sound method of a dog, it's very much clear that dog is going to make the sound, that is dog is going to bark. So dog barks, simple as that. So what is happening over here is this method, this sound method is overriding the method of the base class. Why? That also I will tell you how it is overriding. Because when we create an object and we give a call to sound, so it is going to call to its own function, own method. Okay, so this sound is overriding the sound of the base class that is animal. So as I said, these are like having all the common features. This is a generic class. Okay, let me create another file and this will be a lion. Lion also belongs to the category that is animal. So I will say class lion, and then extends animal. And then what sound does the lion makes? The lion roars, right? So even this particular sound is overriding the sound method of the animal class. So we have the animal, which is the base class. This is the dog, that is the derived class. We also have lion, which is also a derived class. But their functionality is different. The sound method is different over here. Over here, it is going to print some another message, that is the dog will bark. An animal, it is going to make some sound. Okay, so what is happening over here is, these are all common features of the animal. So we can have many attributes, many methods, which are common to all the other animals like dog and lion. But yes, dog will have its own features and dog will sound different. A lion will sound different. Okay, now what we're going to do is, we are going to create the main class. Let us create the main class. So I will say main.java. So here we are. And I will say class main, and then we will have the main function. Now, here is something very, very interesting. Just take a look at this particular situation. This particular line of code that we have. What is happening over here? This is animal, my dog, and then we are saying new dog. Dog is inherited from animal. What is this particular situation called as? This is called as animal, that is the parent reference. Over here it is animal reference, but it will be a parent reference and child object. So the reference is of animal, but the object that we are creating is of dog. Okay. Now what happens over here is, if I say my dog dot sound, okay, so it is going to print dog barks. Let us just run this code and we will see the output over here. So let me just open a terminal. Okay, there we are. And let me just a minute. So I'm going to say, come out of that folder, go to the Java folder, CLS, and then I will say Java. I hope that I have saved the file. So I'll just make sure that I have saved the file. So I will say Java C, that is I will compile the main.java. And then I will say Java main. That's it. And can you see it has printed the dog barks and the lion roars. Okay, so output will be the dog barks, lion roars. So what is happening over here? When I give a call with my dog method dot sound, it is going to call to the function of the dog class. And when I call the function my lion dot sound, it is going to give a call to sound, that is the method of the lion class. Okay, so maybe this is not clear to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this. Let me just remove this and I will make this as A. Just name of the object is A. That's it. And what if I just replace this with A over here, and then before doing this, I will delete this. Okay, and then I will say A is equal to new lion, and then I will say A dot sound. Okay, like this. So have a look at the situation over here. We created one object. The reference is of animal and the object is of the child, that is dog, the child object. So when I say A dot sound, it is going to output dog barks. And then just see over here, that is line number 7, that is A is equal to new lion. So we are now referring to the object that is lion. So over here, when I say A dot sound, it will output dog barks, and then I change that reference. Now A will point to the lion object. When I say A dot sound, it is going to output lion roars, because it is going to give a call to the method of the class lion. And what this particular feature is called as? This is called as runtime polymorphism. Okay, this is called as runtime polymorphism, allows us to call the correct method based on the actual object time at runtime. Can you see that? This is called as runtime because which method to call, that is decided at runtime and not at compile time. There is another situation of polymorphism that is called as method overloading, that we will see it in the next video. In that method overloading, that is a compile time polymorphism, and this is a runtime polymorphism. So method overriding is an example of a runtime polymorphism. Okay, polymorphism means one name, different forms, and this is a runtime polymorphism. So we can have an animal class with the method sound, and then in the inherited class also we can have the same method like this and lion, and then in the main method we can override the methods of the base class. Okay, and this particular feature is called as runtime polymorphism. So do remember this. Now this, it takes a lot of practice to understand this concept. It is not like, okay, you just watch this video, okay, this is runtime polymorphism. No, it will take you a bit of practice. You need to practice a lot, in fact, to understand what is runtime polymorphism and why do we have this. Okay, so I hope that you will go down and you will start practicing this to understand this concept very clearly. It is not possible that just by watching a video you will get everything. It requires practice. So we will meet in the next video, and if you really feel that I'm giving you real content, I would appreciate if you can just subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon. Thank you so much.